How's it going, friends? My name is Fringy, and welcome to Should I Play the Evolve Beta. Now, keep in mind that this is a first impressions of a beta, but it's really stupid to call it a beta when the game already went gold. So it's already done. So this is not a beta, it's a demo. But regardless, let's get into it. Evolve is a very hard game for me to analyze. It's got a lot of components to it that are very difficult to explain, but I'm going to do my best to explain them to you. Now, prior to coming into Evolve, I came into it with a level of skepticism. Not dismissal like Order 1886 defenders would have you believe, but skepticism. It's an asymmetrical multiplayer game, 4v1. I felt that if the players sucked, then the match would suck, or if it's unbalanced, then the game would be unfun to play. It wouldn't be fun to play. That was my biggest concern coming into Evolve. Now, with the 4 or 5 hours I've put into it so far, I gotta say, I've had fun. But, what I said before also holds true. There's a lot of elements to learn, and if you're in a team that's not very good or the monster isn't very good, then the match can just devolve into nonsense, and can become very boring, with not a lot happening, or teammates not helping you, or just getting obliterated way too fast. But, let's start from the beginning. So, I'm going to quickly touch on this. It runs fairly well on my PC, and it looks very good. It's a very good looking game. But at the end of the day, as a beta, it's more about the gameplay. And as a game in general, it's more about the gameplay. But with the beta, we're just going to analyze the gameplay. Now, the thing about the gameplay is that from a design standpoint, it's actually quite good. There's a lot of strategy involved. There's a lot to it, even though it's a shooter. However, a lot of the mechanics feel a bit inconsistent in the way that they work. Let me explain. So essentially the whole point of the game, in the main game mode, is that you've got 4 human players against 1 monster. The monster needs to try and evade the human players in order to gain enough levels to evolve to the point... Yeah, see what they did there? Evolve. To evolve to the point where they can come back and stomp the humans. It's basically a hunting thing. On a big map, filled with a bunch of AI, little neutral things to kill. And when it comes to this core mechanic, it works very well. I like the dichotomy of the hunter versus the hunted and all this other bullshit with that. And how the 4 players need to work together to hunt the monster, and as a monster you need to be smart and try and sneak and evade these people in order to evolve enough to take him out. I just find it interesting that the big badass Cthulhu monster needs to run away before it can attack. It's cool. Now, when it comes to playing as a monster, you've got a lot of abilities at your disposal, and I gotta say, I have a lot of fun playing as the monster. Being able to play on your own and have the constant tension of knowing that around any corner the hunters can spring up, trap you, and kill you, makes it tense. And so, sneaking around, doing sneak attacks, trying to make as little noise as possible, while leaving red herrings to, make sure that the hunters can't catch you as quickly, is very fun. However, controlling the monster is a bit clunky. That's something I have to say. Sometimes it doesn't communicate very well what walls you can climb up, or how quickly you can jump, or how much stamina you have, or any of these things. And when you're trying to kill the human enemies, it can be a bit weird when you're so big, they're so small, they got jetpacks flying all over the place, and the way that you move is a bit uncontrollable. It would take a bit of time to learn, that's for sure. But, when it all does work, it's really empowering to play as the monster and try and outsmart the humans. Now, on the human side, teamwork is very, very important. You've got 4 classes. You've got Assault, Defender, Trapper, and a Healer, basically. Medic. So, all these 4 characters have a bunch of varying skills at their disposal. For example, the Trapper can set up a dome in which the monster can't escape. The support guy has a shield thing and can call in an artillery. The medic can revive, and tranquilize the monster. They each have their role in combat, and you have to work together. You have to work together. Teamwork is very important in Evolve. And that's where these issues come in, where if you're not matched with a good team, or you got one asshole standing around not doing anything, it makes it very difficult to fight. All 4 of you need to work together if you want to take out the monster. You all have to work together. Now, if you're in a party, this is actually very good. It encourages teamwork a lot more than most other games do. And that's something that I really like. And especially in the modern AAA industry where it's like teamwork, nah, none of that. Now, here's where the issues start to arise in Evolve. The thing about this game is that there's a lot to learn. Now, I like this. When so many shooters don't have anything that you need to learn, I like that there's a shooter that actually requires that you think and that you use strategy and you need to learn the mechanics. However, with this skill ceiling or the skill gap, it means that matchmaking, you need to be with a good team. You need to be with a good team. Otherwise, it's no fun. And I did have a lot of bad matches playing Evolve. There were times when I was the monster and the other team was just way, way too good for me. And where I just get killed in like 4 minutes. And that's not fun at all. There are matches where I'm with a team that don't work together at all. They don't stick together. They run off in different parts of the map. And so then the monster can just kill us with ease. There are times when someone misuses something or doesn't come and revive you or any of these things and you get killed by the monster. There are times when the mechanics don't work and you end up getting caught and killed by the humans. There are a lot of factors that can ruin Evolve, more so than any other shooter that I've played in recent memory. And that's what happens when you make a game that's so reliant on the players. Where in another shooter like Call of Duty, your team doesn't really matter that much. And winning or losing doesn't really matter. It's all about how well you do. In Evolve, that's not how it works. You only got one monster to kill, so you all gotta work together. Nobody's gonna have this big badass match, except for the monster perhaps. But, even with all of those issues aside, even with all of those problems, I can't really fault the developer for. Because they can't help how good you are. And they're making the game they want to make. Even with all of those faults aside, when you are matched in an even team, with good players all around you, Evolve is very, very good. Very good, in fact. It's actually quite great when you're in a balanced match where you've got a monster who's smart and allures you and can actually fight back. And when you're working with a team who are healing each other, reviving each other, calling in barrage, trapping the monster effectively. It's really fantastic and invigorating. And I just gotta say that I'm happy that there's a AAA developer out there trying a new idea like Evolve. Because Evolve is most assuredly new. It's the newest shooter that's out right now, with the exception of maybe Splatoon in terms of new mechanics. And Evolve has caught my interest. Because I've played a lot of fun matches. It is a lot of fun. It's a game that requires skill. It requires strategy. It requires quick reflexes. It's well designed. And the characters themselves are well balanced. No, the monster is not overpowered. The players are not overpowered. It's really finely balanced. It looks great. It runs well. It sounds good. But it all rests in the fan base. As a multiplayer only game, it has hurdles to overcome. It needs to have enough content to keep my interest. Because the same problem happened with Titanfall. There wasn't enough content. And it relies on the players being good. And when they're not, it kind of sucks. But when it works, Evolve is actually a lot of fun. So if you have access to the beta, give it a shot. Because it's actually a lot of fun. And it's a game that I think people should really pay attention to, despite the bullshit that they're pulling with the DLC. Evolve is quite fun. And I will be picking it up when it comes out to have more fun with it and try and play it. Keep in mind that this was a review of the beta. So a more comprehensive look at Evolve in terms of gameplay will come when it releases. That's it for Should I Play the Evolve beta. Thanks for watching. I'm Fringy, and as always, have a good one.